Hey everybody, welcome back. Obviously, it's another weird day for me. I've got the tree, you can see most of the barn going on here, okay? I'm like halfway through Christmas decorating. I'm not recording on the weekends like I should be. It's bad. However, we have got to talk about something we've already talked about, but I feel like I have to reiterate it again, especially with all of the Charlie Kirk stuff going on. You have to listen to people you don't agree with and listen with an open mind to form your own opinions. And this pertains to like everything in life. Okay, it's not just the Charlie Kirk situation. This is just like, I'm seeing it so harshly right now. This pertains to feminism and culture and marriage and life. Okay? You need to listen to several sources on things to get a full picture of what all's going on out there, so you can make up your own mind. So welcome back to the Green Eyed Girl podcast, where we're going to talk about this again. So, there's all kinds of fighting going on and lots of hate getting thrown in 1,000 different directions, okay? And we all just need to kind of like take a pause. I don't care where you land, but if I have one more inane conversation with somebody where they claim to have listened to somebody, but then they're questioning me on something that I know is specifically addressed in a podcast, you didn't actually go listen with an open mind. I actually don't believe that you actually listened at all. But at the very least, you went in with a preconceived notion of what you were going to find there to do it. Okay? Everyone knows I don't like Ben Shapiro. I'm not a huge fan of Nick Fuentes. Nick's right about a lot of things. He's funny. He's smart. His voice drives me nuts. And I don't like that he doesn't really bring a lot of receipts sometimes. That bothers me. I like to be able to go fact check people, so, at least give me a book title. There's a lot of things that I can read or at least make note of, and I can form an opinion later. There's all kinds of people out here that I don't like. But I go listen to them with an open mind anyway, because I don't trust anybody. And you shouldn't trust anyone but yourself. Okay? I don't care to disagree with people. At all. By all means, please disagree with me. I think that's what makes this country amazing, is that we can all disagree, but we got to find a way to live with each other while we disagree, okay? And the constant, everybody's just a grifter, everybody's this, everybody's that, and the coordinated attack thing, I'm over it. But if you actually go listen to multiple people with an open mind, and fact check them, because I'm sorry, you can't trust anybody. So if you're a groiper out here and you just if Nick says it, it has to be true, out. You need to get out. That's a problem. Okay? My two favorite people right now are Candace and Ian, and it's because the number one thing they say is, don't trust us, go fact check this, here's where you can find it. Use your own brain. Go listen to these people, here's where I got my information. I really like Ian, especially when he gets it from different podcasters. There's all kinds of podcasters I never would have found, except that they dug into something that he hadn't looked at, and they dug in really, really deep. Man, 10 out of 10. We have podcasts going in the office 24/7, okay? If I'm at work, there's a podcast playing. We listen to hours of stuff. And I'll go listen to new podcasters I've never heard of because they ran down a rabbit hole that I'm interested in hearing their perspective and what they looked into and how they looked into it. Okay? These are the things we need to do. I can't form a definite opinion on what's going on with the Nick Fuentes Ian Carroll fight right now because I've only listened to Ian's side of it. I'm going to go, out of respect for Nick, and watch his podcast to see his full response to Ian. Because that's what I need to do. And that's what we all need to do as a collective. I go tune into the Charlie Kirk podcast to hear the flip side of things. Now, I'm only going to tune in on like before and after they're talking about what I'm interested in. I'm not huge into just listening to their content. Not that I'm like hugely against these guys, but there's some stuff I'm just not into and I just don't care. Okay? So go listen to people in full with an open mind and then form an opinion. If you have an opinion of someone because of what you've read on the internet, the clips you've seen, someone else's summary of what they've seen, you are not actually using your mind. You have farmed out your thought. And this goes with feminism and culture, okay? You need to understand all sides of an argument. Part of why I like listening to Fresh and Fit and the Whatever podcast is I get to hear some crazy takes from women and I get to understand how they're coming to the conclusions they're coming to, okay? Now, I also grew up in public school, so it all got force-fed to me too. I've seen it all. But the flip side to that, I'm listening to the Tate brothers and Myron and Nick and all of these people who are like starkly on the super red pill and or incel side. But then I also love people like Matt Walsh, who has a very traditional marriage, and Candace Owens, who has a traditional marriage, and all of these other people who actually have traditional marriages that are God-centric. And it gives you a better idea of how to like judge things. And you got to think, like, Fresh and Fit is done out of Miami, okay? Like, that is the most poisonous version of the hypersexualized feminist rot. Okay, I live in Middle America. Everybody knows I live in Kentucky. I live in Kentucky. Women are not on that level here. Like, you see it, but like Miami's here and Kentucky's like down here, okay? The feminists I run into around here are like way toned down. Some of the logic is the same, yes, but they aren't out here expecting like millionaires and all of that. So it's just not as bad. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. And they had a guy on there, his name's Clavicular, and he pointed that out. He's like, this is like the worst of the worst. You have to listen to that, and you have to understand that, this is absolutely like the worst of the rot. And if along those lines, I watched the one with Milo. He's never been in that situation with women like that before. And you see the amount of compassion that he has versus all the other guys, man, like Fresh and Fit, they have seen it all. Myron and Walter have just been through it all. They understand. And they also don't come at it from Christianity. So, what I'm trying to say is you need to tune into the extremes. You need to look at things with an open mind, hear people out, so that when questions come up, you've heard them out and you can see who's being disingenuous and who's not. There's going to be times where your favorite people are going to get things wrong. And that's okay. You don't have to die on the hill for them if you have your own free thought. If you farmed your thought out to someone, you're stuck. You've stuck yourself in someone else's logic hole. And you're doomed. I'm putting this out here. Just open your mind. Hear everybody out. Hear out all sides of the situation. Okay? It's the best thing to do. And the Charlie Kirk situation is hands down one of the biggest ones where I'm seeing this all play out. But go listen to people with an open mind, in full, on their show, on both sides, and let it ruminate. Go, touch some grass, pet your dog, hug your cat, hug your kids, unplug for a while, and let every bit of the information kind of ruminate. If you've done that, and you come in and you say, you know, she said this, I just don't agree with it. That's fine. You don't have to agree with people, but you do have to hear them out. And don't come telling people online that you've listened to someone and you've heard them out, and then ask questions that have been addressed that let us know that you didn't actually listen. Okay? And this is on everything. I've heard out the most depraved arguments on transgenderism and everything else. Okay? I vehemently don't agree with it. But if I didn't have the information from that perspective, I'm doing myself a disservice. You all are doing yourself a disservice if you don't hear everyone out. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you touch some grass, hug your family, talk to people face to face and not just on the internet. When you feel yourself starting to crash out, unplug. Believe me, it's worth it. Go decorate the Christmas tree. It's a lovely time of year for that. Put a wreath on the door, something. I still have all kinds of stuff to do. But take a break and hear people out. You can't go through life farming out your thought to other people. You actually have to get to a point where you don't trust anyone but yourself, and you fact check people, and you see who's, looks into it, who will admit when they're wrong. And the best people are the people who will say, hey, here's the book I read, and these are the conclusions I drew from it. Hey, here's the articles I found. Go dig into it. Okay? The podcast, whatever. Just go do some digging. Yes, it takes more time, but it gives you your free thought back, and it's a glorious thing. I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I know I've already said it again, but please, join me back in reality. It's so much better here.